Alright, so today we're going to finish this tutorial. We're going to talk about Turian, which includes Metroid rooms, Baby Metroid Skip, Zeb Skip, Mother Brain, and Zebus Escape. So, first off, in any percent, the most important thing going through these Metroid rooms is to keep an eye on your ammo. Okay. I mentioned earlier in the tutorial that we are running a 20-10 route, meaning 20 missiles and 10 supers is our max. What this means is that leaving the last Metroid room, we need at least 15 missiles and 10 supers, or 18 missiles and 9 supers at a bare minimum. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so you come down this elevator and you want to do a short hop so that you can weave down without bonking this ledge right here. You're gonna do just a little short hop, shoot the door on your way down, do another short hop across this gap, and run through the door. There is a CWJ strat, but I honestly can't make it any faster, and it kind of screws the door a little bit when I do it. I've seen Ruya do it in a way that doesn't screw up the door transition, but when I do it, it screws up the door transition, and it's slower than just jumping off and doing this. So like that. So that's that room. Last thing you can do is you can do a down back instead. That is a bit slower. It's about 20 frames slower than the not 20, more like 10. About 10 frames slower than the alternative, depending on how clean you do it. Maybe only 3 or 4, actually. Okay, so Metroids 1. There's 2 different things you can do here. The fastest strat... Well, okay, not the literally fastest strat. The fastest strat that I do involves running off this ledge. You want to shoot your first plasma beam as you reach this thing in the background right here. Switch to supers. By the way, I piano most of these rooms. You're gonna need to experiment with different grips on the controller to figure out how to do all of these inputs quickly and accurately, because it's pretty fast. Pretty fast. I think it's actions per minute is the term. Anyway, so you shoot a plasma beam and then you immediately switch to supers, and then after you shoot this first Metroid with the super, you want to switch to power bombs. The reason that we're switching to power bombs is so that we can shoot another plasma beam, because when you're on power bombs you shoot regular beams, right? And as we shoot the next plasma beam, we want to jump, and during that jump, I take my thumb off of the D-pad, I move it over to item cancel, so I push select, and I tap item select, in this case X, twice, to give ourselves an auto deselect super missile. Then, once I have the auto deselect super missile, I do another space jump just before the Metroid that is right around here. Okay. And I shoot immediately after space jumping so that we kill that Metroid with that auto deselected super and have another jump to put us into position so that we can do another fire the plasma, quickly switch to supers, and fire a super motion. Like I said, I know that this is a lot of actions, this took me hundreds of hours worth of practice to get as consistent with it as I am, and I'm still not. There are days where I just can't do this. So, the last Metroid here, so you're gonna land in the acid here, that's not a big deal, just jump up and ledge grab here. Last Metroid here, you wanna hold dash and then release it. So just hold dash briefly and then release it and do another angle up plasma followed by switching to supers and firing a super. And then the very last thing is that we need to open the door. If you fire too early, you're gonna run into cooldown issues. So you have to kind of space your shots a little bit too. Or nothing's gonna come out and that's bad too. If you bonk a Metroid like that, that's no big deal. Just kind of back it up however you can. See, like, that's fine. If you do happen to mess up that, I would recommend grabbing its drops. If you're doing the strat like perfectly, don't worry about grabbing the drops. But if you run past it and miss it with a super, come back, shoot it with a super, and grab the drops, and then go. Because you've already lost your forward momentum at that point, so you may as well grab those drops. Alright, the much easier strat, and it's only, I want to say, about a second slower. So probably what a lot of people should do. As long as you have enough energy, which I believe it's 100 energy here that you want, you can start off the room the same way, but then you space jump and you kind of group these together like that, and then go. I lay a bomb right around here on these bars here. And then run forward and get the last Metroid to attach to you, and then run back through the bomb as it's exploding. As long as you time it correctly. It'll detach the Metroids from you. And then you just turn around, fire a plasma shot to freeze them. Switch to supers and go. I use LNR for angled shots all the time. For example, I use L for an angled shot, leaving Metroids 4. Yeah, so for this section, yeah. I don't know why I don't use L here. I guess it's just more comfortable to use the D-pad. But yeah, I can't use R because, as you can see, my right hand is in piano position. I can't really reach R like this. So all right. Gonna do the fast strat one more time. Move on. So you want to jump through this door. Oh, and also, it's not super important, but I recommend deselecting as you go through this last door too. So that's, again, I just, after I jump to go through the door, I reach my left thumb over and hit select. which is item cancel in my case. All right. In this room, this is what I do. Like that. Took me a while to get used to it. There are some alternative strats. But basically, I turn after these bars, I do a soft morph onto the platform, I roll to the right until I get to the wall, and then as I'm about halfway down the wall, I move left. I bounce on the corner, I tap right to turn around, then I unmorph, angle up, I hold R, angle up, shoot the two Metroids in place, switch to supers, item deselect, jump, fire to open the door, and then turn around and deboost off the Rinka. Ideally, you want to deboost like that, so that you make it down into this gap here. But if you do hit the spot above the door, like if you boost and you bonk this right here, that's okay. It's only a little slower. Alternatively, you can do this sort of a thing. That's about 40 frames slower, 30 to 40 frames slower. That might actually be faster. Do it correctly. We have momentum going into the next room. Holy mother. Hang on. 543. Oh my gosh. I just found a faster strat. What? This is pretty hard though, to get this timing correctly. Wonder if there's a way to... Well, I shouldn't spend my time in the tutorial testing this. I'm gonna have to check this out later. But yeah, that's a good 30 frames faster there. And it's a few frames faster in this room. Oh my gosh, dude! What? Clipping it. test. But yeah, that's a good 30 frames faster there. And it's a few frames faster in this room. Oh my gosh, dude! What? Clipping it. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about that. This is like the worst tutorial I've ever done now. Just sitting here in silence for a minute. Should have paused the recording, I'm sorry, you guys. Anyway. Okay, sorry about that. If you want to try this out, looks like you just need to unmorph just before you land to kind of manipulate the Metroids so they're grouped together. Do not fire a super like that, that's bad. Why am I... What? Why were they so close together there? I don't freaking know, dude. I don't know how this works. This is not the time for this. It's not the time for this. We're doing a tutorial, Zenny. Just want to do it one more time. Oh. Okay. You might be able to space jump through the next room. Kind of screws the door, though. Whoa, I didn't mean to morph there. Alright, anyway, okay. So, I still recommend doing something over here, honestly. The downside to the one on the left side that I was just showing is you might miss a couple drops, and you're not going to miss any drops if you do it this way, which I can't do it this way anymore because I'm bad. Like that. See how we collected all the drops there? That's good. And again, the most important thing here is making sure that you have enough supers, enough missiles and supers. So, assuming that you boost through the door like this, you land here and then jump up here. Okay. If you bonk like this, just run off the ledge and then jump up here. All right. Okay, Metroid Room 3. So this is kind of like Metroid Room 1 in that the fastest strat involves doing individual Metroids. But see how our supers are super low when we finish that? So this is it's kind of a YOLO strat depending on how many supers you have. I'd say if you have 8 or 9, doing this strat here is less risky, but if you have 7 or less, you should probably group here instead. But I'll break down both methods. So, you want to ledge grab this corner here, and then you want to run forward, immediately fire a plasma shot, and then switch to supers and fire a super shot. once you're passing this dot, this colored light dot thing in the ceiling, that's when you want to fire another plasma shot. And that will freeze the next Metroid. Okay? And then you want to switch to super and fire the super just before you jump. And then the last one is kind of similar to Metroid 2 in the second Metroid, sorry, in Metroid 1. You need to space jump and then immediately fire a plasma beam shot. So the way that I do that, I didn't explain this before. With my piano grip, I have jump on B and shoot on A. I kind of angle my index finger and I slam it down on both buttons in a way that my knuckle hits jump first, and then the tip of my finger shoots immediately after. That's kind of what I do. But you're probably going to have a different grip than I do, different button layouts, etc. So it's important to find whatever's comfortable for you. But yeah, so you want to do that jump fire thing, and then immediately switch to supers again. Do an angle down shot with a super. Kill this last Metroid. And as long as you have enough speed, you'll land on this platform right here. Right here. And then you just shoot the door, jump across the gap, and run through. All right. Okay. There's a grouping strat here instead. You can either group all of the Metroids like this. If I can do it correctly. Or you can kill the first one and then just group the second two, like this. What you decide to do kind of depends on your energy level and how many supers you have, but they should be roughly equal in time. So I'll show that just a couple more times. I don't know how or why that's happening, but it is, so. There we go. Okay. Also, with the grouping strats, I forgot to mention this in Metroids 1, if you're really low on supers, you can use missiles on the grouping strats instead. It is a bit slower, but it takes 5 missiles to kill one Metroid. And if they're grouped together, the 5 missiles will kill all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's about a second slower to do that. All right. Last room here. Last Metroid room. So the fastest strat looks like this. Okay, we have 20 and 9, so we have enough ammo here to do Mother Brain. That was really bad drops. But we have 8 supers here, so pretty safe. If you have 8 supers, it's pretty safe to use a super on that last group of Metroids. Okay. If you have 7, it's kind of up to you. It's a risk. If you have 6 or less, I would recommend definitely using missiles. Like that. Okay. So the way that this works is you want to just run off of this ledge, freeze that Rinka on your way down, but don't shoot too late or else you'll freeze the Metroid too, and you don't want that in this category. Ball when you hit the left wall, fall to the corner, and then roll, fall to the corner again. Once you land, you'll bounce and go to the left, then unmorph, turn right, and the Metroids will be grouped right there. So you can kill them all in one shot. Then you want to turn around and do an angle down shot with your beam right here. You want to do it from over here, and then you just run and fall through the door. And I'll explain why we're doing that in a couple minutes. Why are we freezing the Rinka? Because if you don't freeze the Rinka, it will follow you down here and get in the way. Like this. Oof. Rinka was in the way. We just freeze it so it stays out of the way. Don't freeze it, follows you down. You have to wait for it or you bonk into it or something. Alright, alternatively, you can do this sort of a thing, which is a little easier. You just fall into the room like that. Or you can wait for these Rinkas and then deboost through the next room like this. That is a lot slower. The benefit to it is that you'll save some energy. But I've always been really bad at the Rinka boost, so I'm probably not the right person to talk about it. But that's kind of what it looks like. Okay. Okay, so the reason that we're running and falling into this door is because it sets us up to do that fast strat, okay? And the way that that works, this is going to be kind of hard to show correctly. So what I do is I hold R and down. Yeah, we're gonna run into issues here with the music loading. This might work. Okay. So I hold R and down, and then as I land, I turn to the right, and then after I land, I press jump. You can press jump during the turn. Let me show why this works. So this is also a good reason to use angle down for most ledge grabs as opposed to angle up. When Samus is in a turnaround animation and you press jump, she cancels the turnaround animation into a spin jump, okay? The same is true of an angle down turn. Okay, see how she's spinning? That. Okay, if you try and do that out of an angle up turn, she doesn't spin. Instead, she buffers a straight jump. Like you cannot cancel an angle up turn into a spin jump. You just can't. So this is really useful because, okay, Sassy, thank you, I love you. It makes it so that we're basically buffering a straight jump into a D-boost for this hopper. You don't actually have to hold down here. Oh, I did that wrong. But you do want to be holding R. It's weird. You do want to be holding R and then turn, jump, and then hold fire too when you jump. That'll open the door for you. Then you jump through. If this is too hard for you, which maybe it is, you know, you can just land here and time your D-boost like that. Sorry, the practice ROM sometimes screws up the hopper, the behavior, depending on how long it takes to load music and stuff like that. Come on, dude. One thing to keep in mind is, in a lot of categories, you'll see people wall jump checking this door, leaving this room. You don't want to do that in this category because you have just space jump. So it'll actually add lag to the door if you try and do that in this category. Alright. Once you make it into the next room, you just want to run forward, shoot a plasma beam shot to break the dude and open the door. Okay, and then do a late space jump through the door. Late jump through the door, and then a space jump in the next room to break the little dust guys. Alright, we're gonna turn music off, because this song is really loud, and otherwise will make it really hard for me to explain Baby Skip. Alright, so Baby's gonna show up here. First thing you need to do is you need to break this hopper. So you can break the hopper as soon as the baby is detached from it, and you see it kind of turn into that skeleton right there. If you try and shoot before that, it's not gonna work. So once it's that smaller skeleton sprite, that's when you can shoot and break it, okay? And then there's a couple different baby skips you can do in this category. So I'll explain the one that I recommend first, and then I'll briefly explain the faster one. So see how when the baby detaches, it starts moving its claws in and out. Once they're in their innermost position, that's when you want to start running. That was early. Now. And what I do is I jump just before this thing, and I immediately aim down. So I hold jump and I aim down, okay? That will land you kind of in the middle of the last two little bumps in the floor. And then this is the hardest part of the entire skip right here. Okay? It's not, the hard part is not jumping over the baby doing jump rope. The hard part is this part right here. You need to time this first jump in a way that you get the baby to do a good swing around Samus. I guess on my camera it's more like this. You want that wide swing. If you jump too early or too late, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna get grabbed on your way down, or you'll get grabbed before you jump up. okay? You want basically to jump just as the baby is approaching Samus, but not too late so that it's touching or almost touching Samus. What that will do is it will make it so that the baby kind of lunges at Samus. Is that wrong? And gets this kind of orbit motion going, okay? And you can do this all day long. Once you get this kind of pattern going, once you get this behavior going, you can do this all day long. All right, this is not hard to do at all. It takes some practice. But basically you just land, run to the right a little bit, jump, and then move back left. And if you're struggling with this, I recommend, seriously, just sit here and jump rope for a while. And just get kind of used to it. But yeah, once you get over that first jump, I wouldn't stress out about the rest, as long as you're being careful. Because the rest of the skip is relatively easy in comparison. Okay? So you gotta clear this moss. And then you want to align Samus so that she is up against the remaining moss, which coincidentally is where that weed in the floor is. So even if you get rid of this moss, you want to align Samus with this weed in the floor, okay? And then what you do is once you're aligned with it, you jump, morph, and hold left. And Samus will get through the door. Okay. We have messed up sounds. Alright, that's fine. So again, once the claws are in the innermost position, run forward, jump, aim down. After you land, pause for just a brief moment, and then run forward. Jump over the baby as it's kind of lunging towards Samus. You'll get the get that orbital motion going. Break the moss. Land on the weed. Jump, morph, and hold left. I lay some bombs here. You do not need to lay the bombs, and if you lay them too early, it can actually cause issues. So, my recommendation is to not lay the bombs, but it really doesn't matter, just as long as you're not laying them too early. Oops. And that's Baby Skip. I mean, I wish that there was more to it. I may have gone more in depth in some of my other tutorials. I feel like I was probably better at explaining things in depth in my other tutorials. Oh, I forgot to mention. So you wanna break that dust ripper on the floor there. Do that with a down shot as you're landing. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is Samus is going to land on it and then fall, and you're going to lose control of her, and then you'll get grabbed like that. So you need to shoot that dust ripper as you're coming down on it. Also, try to avoid breaking the stuff on the ceiling, because if you do that, you're going to cause a ton of lag. See all that lag? Actually, so first of all, it's slower, but second of all, I actually find it harder to control Samus in those laggy situations. We're gonna do space jump skip after this, but I'm not gonna go super in depth into it. All right, we can talk about space jump skip. So space jump skip is different. I'll try and show what it looks like first. I was having trouble doing it earlier. Okay, there we go. Instead of waiting for the claws to be in their innermost position, you want to start running as soon as they start moving. And then you need to do a space jump. So you jump before the hump, and then you do a very small space jump after the screen starts scrolling, and you shoot immediately, clear this scree, this dust scree on the ceiling, so you don't bonk into it. Because if you don't shoot it, you're gonna bonk into it. Like that, and that's really bad. And then you need to aim down, and you need to land past the last hump, but not too far forward. And then again, the hardest part is getting the right kind of a jump over the baby Metroid. And that is really hard in this setup. Sometimes it seems free, and other times it seems impossible. After that, the rest of the skip is the same. And this saves about 1.5 seconds compared to the other method. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the time that I try and do this, I end up getting grabbed right here. If there is a piece of moss in the ceiling like that, you have to clear it before you try and go, or you're gonna bonk into it, and the baby Metroid's gonna grab you. Okay. See, like, I jumped too early, and we got grabbed. The skip is just really hard. It's not like the hardest thing. Spring ball skip is harder than this, I think. But it is hard for sure. All right, any questions about baby skip before I go? We don't have enough supers, I just realized. This is perfect. You should have 20 and 9 or 15 and 10 here at a minimum. We have 20 and 8, so I'll have to show what we do in that situation. Yes, baby can still catch Samus in a Shine Spark. And there is a Shine Spark skip, but it's not viable. Hey, Peerless Mate. All right. So in this room, if you have 20 and 9 or 15 and 10, you want to shoot this door with the super and then move on through. That's after coming straight down like this, okay? If you need to go for a refill, either for health or for ammo, instead you want to come down this way and open the door like that. Trying to remember. There we go. That's basically what you want to do. Okay. Just come in here, do your refills, whatever you need. In this case, we didn't need energy, but we did it anyway. And then if you're leaving this room, hold a shot as you leave, and then hold angle down to stop immediately after leaving, after coming out of the door, and then release angle down and shoot again, and you'll break those blocks that are in the way, like that. Hey, Jamsap, thanks. Hey, Tex. Alright. Space jump through this room. Shoot the Ghidorah with a super. If you had 20 and 8, you only needed to open that first door with missiles. If you have 20 and 7 before leaving the Metrodromes, you need to kill this Ghidorah with 3 missiles instead of a super, and then go back and refill. So keep that in mind. We're gonna turn the music back on. At least for a minute. Do not shoot the super too early here, or it will bonk. That's bad. And then leaving this room, you want to do a moonfall through the door. You can do that by coming up against the door, facing left, holding L and R, shooting up, that will open the door. Just hold shoot and then do a moonfall. That's the easiest way to do this. Or the fastest way, I should say. Alternatively, you can open the door and then turn around and do a moonfall. That's just a little slower, but it's easier. Okay. Moonfall through this room. If you want to preemptively open this door to save some time, you want to shoot a super basically after you pass this. It's not that tight of a window, to be completely honest, but just be kind of careful, because if you shoot too early, like that, you're going to be screwed, and if you shoot too late, you're going to be screwed. So keep that in mind. You can, of course, just land and then run through. You want to jump through this door to fix the door transition. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Zeb Skip. I have like 5 different Zeb Skip tutorials, so I'm not going to go super in depth on this, but I will explain how each of these works. We're going to talk about the easy one first. Okay. Okay, so easy Zeb Skip. Land here. Do an angle down shot to freeze the Rinka. Wait for the top Rinka to come down and hit you. Spin jump. Why did that not work? I don't know. Spin jump and jump on through. Okay, that's the easiest way to do this. The important thing is that you do a small spin jump, because if you do too big of a spin jump, you might run out of iframes, or you might be just in a weird position where it won't work. Okay. I don't know why this is not cooperating with me very well, but when that top Rinka hits you, you need to tap left after it hits you, or you'll fall. Okay? So the top Rinka hits you. Tap left to land on the edge of this platform right here. And then again, just do a small spin jump towards the Zeb. And what's going to happen is, since this Rinka is frozen here, the game prioritizes Samus touching frozen enemies, basically. And so it forces Samus to land on top of the Rinka, which is inside of the wall. So she kind of clips into the Zebetite, which allows her to phase through it like that. Okay. If it doesn't work for whatever reason, oh no, you can do a spin jump back and then back and forward like this. And see how she's taking damage when, well, not actual damage. She gets a knockback when we do that. And iframes. The reason for that is because it's still clipping her into the wall. So what you can do is you can use that. Oh no, I screwed up. You can use that to still get through pretty quickly. Basically, you just spin jump back and forward and then back and forward again and jump through. And that is the backup for if down back sub skip doesn't work. This is what we're going to talk about next. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, Zenny, I am doing exactly what you're doing and it's not working for me and you must be cheating. Just know that the exact same thing happened to me when I first started doing Zeb Skip. And all I can really say is make sure, again, that your spin jumps are very small here. That's kind of the biggest thing. Because if you spin jump too high, a lot of the time it's not going to clip you in, and even if it does, you're probably going to run out of iframes. Like that. Like we barely made it through there. Okay. See how that didn't work, and I just did a spin jump backwards and forwards again. Okay. So that's kind of the easier version of the sub skip. The harder version, the faster version, and the version that I found actually easier when I first started doing this is called the down back sub skip. Looks like that. Okay. And basically the way that it works is you want to jump up into this corner so that you hit the top Rinka preemptively as it's coming down. And when it hits Samus, that puts her in a falling state, which allows her to do a down back. We talked about down backs at the beginning of the tutorial and in my general movement tutorial. So basically, you hit the Rinka, you hit the top Rinka, put Samus in a falling state, then you hold down and back on the D-pad, so in this case down and right. And you fire to freeze the Rinka just as you're landing. And it freezes the Rinka, and then Samus lands, and the game prioritizes so that she lands on the Rinka, and then you can jump up through. In my very first Zeb Skip tutorial, the thing that I said, and I still try and focus on this when I'm having trouble with down back Zeb Skip, and a lot of people have told me that this is what helped them. Make sure that you have a really good, like, fat, strong grip on the D-pad for this when you're doing your down back. Make sure that you're holding pretty firmly down and back, especially the back part, because back is what forces Samus to move forward. In a down back. So make sure that you have a good fat grip on the D-pad when you do this, and that should help a lot. If you do mess it up, again, just do the spin jump back up that I talked about. That. Make sure that you're not shooting too early, or what will happen is the Zebetite will eat your plasma shot and it won't freeze the Rinka. And make sure that you're not shooting too late, or again, you won't actually shoot down. You won't freeze the Rinka. You'll run into some issues. So yeah, once you get up into the Zebutite, run forward and do an aim down onto this platform. A lot of the time, one or both of these turrets is going to be shooting at you. You can do an angle up shot to preemptively get it out of the way. You would like to. It seems to be less of an issue in KPDR for some reason. I don't know why, but it hasn't happened to me as much. Come on, dude. There we go. Then you want to jump, morph into the hole. Unmorph, do a gap skip here, then run forward and space jump through the hole, and then morph, space jump and morph through this top hole. That. Then it's 6 missiles to break the glass like this. 7 more missiles. Sorry, 9 more missiles. And then 7 supers. And again, if you don't have 7 supers, but you have 6 and 5 missiles left, then you can do 6 supers and then 3 more missiles. Second Zeb skip is free if you know how to do it. Yes, that is true, but also you have to have enough ammo to get through the first Zeb to do that. And that is why some runners opt to do that instead in like 100%, because it's a lot easier. A lot easier to do. You can. I didn't even talk about killing those Rinkas, did I? Let's talk about killing the Rinkas next to Mother Brain. So you can go through the bottom here if you want, lay a bomb, kill the Rinkas that way. That's the PRKD strat. And the reason PRKD does it that way is because they don't have space jump. But it is really important that we freeze and kill these Rinkas. Because otherwise, they're going to be in the way, and I'll show that. And they cause a lot of lag. See how much lag they're causing? And then they're still in the way. Still in the way, and we lost a bunch of energy. So make sure that you deal with the Rinkas. And watch the turrets in the top right. If they're aiming toward you, toward Mother Brain, be cautious with your shots, because those turret shots will eat your ammo. Shoot! Gosh. Anyway, if a turret shoots when you're shooting a Mother Brain and it hits your ammo, it will eat that ammo shot so it doesn't actually hit Mother Brain, which can mean the end of your run. Like that, okay? Also, when that happens, there's a smoke cloud that appears that is left behind by the turret shot, okay? If you shoot again too quickly, the smoke cloud will eat the ammo. but not... There's a little white dot that appears, but it's not actually eating the ammo for some reason. But normally there's a... Normally that cloud will eat the ammo. Anyway, maybe it only eats supers. That'd be weird. Maybe that's the case though. No? I have no idea. I don't know why that's happening. But yeah, you gotta be really careful with these turrets. If they're pointing at you, just kind of chill. Like don't not do anything, but be aware, right? Be aware that they're pointing at you, and that could be really bad and mean the end of your run. If you're not careful. Okay. Mother Brain. 20 plasma ice wave shots. Mother Brain has a few different attacks. She has French fries, onion rings, meatballs, ketchup, and rainbow beam. It's a meatball. That's a French fry. It's a meatball. That's ketchup. It's ketchup. Those are onion rings. Okay? Alright, so like I said, 20 shots. I don't have great advice on, like, these amazing ways to dodge each attack. What I can tell you is that a really good way to practice Mother Brain is actually to take off your powerful beams. Just try to kill her with, like, a low percent loadout. Like, just Ice Beam or just Charge Beam. If you do that, you can get really used to the different ways that she moves. We're dead, by the way, because we got hit by ketchup. But yeah, with meatballs, the one thing that I'll say is that if she drops a meatball, you want to jump later. Like, as late as possible, kind of. And you want to try and land towards the middle of it. So we landed in the middle of that meatball and we didn't take damage because of it. If you land on the outside of the explosion, you'll take damage, but if you land on the middle, you won't take any damage. But yeah, with meatballs, kind of the ideal thing to do is to just jump later and then not worry about landing on their explosion at all. Like that. Okay. That. Watch out for French fries, because she does like to shoot French fries when you jump up. Every once in a while, she'll do a meatball onion rings combo, and if she does it in just the right way, it can be really bad. So, you still need to pay attention to what Mother Brain is doing when you do a late jump over the meatball. But on average, doing a late jump is safer. You'll see some people try to, like, bomb them like that. You can technically do that, but it's slow, and it kind of leaves Samus vulnerable while you're, like, maneuvering around. And it just kind of generally complicates all of the inputs, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. I wouldn't recommend bombing the meatballs, personally. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. After 16 shots, Mother Brain will start using ketchup. Okay? Once she starts using ketchup, she tends to only use ketchup. That's not always true. She can still do other stuff. So you need to be aware of, you know, other potential like wombo combo patterns that she might do. She might do like a ketchup onion ring French fry combo that's really hard to dodge. But in general, she's just going to fire ketchup once every 3 or 4 seconds, okay? And you can see when she's going to fire ketchup because she moves her hand back and then forward. It's kind of what you want to look for. And if there's too many things on screen when she tries to fire ketchup, it just won't appear at all, which is funny when that happens. The last thing that I'll mention about ketchup is related to the cutscene that happens directly after this. So notice how her back claw is kind of stuck in the wall right now, and it's still stuck in the wall. Now we're gonna go into this cutscene here. But with her back claw in the wall like that, the cutscene is actually 3 seconds slower than if we can manipulate her to be in a different position. The thing is, even though you can technically fully manipulate this to happen, it's not worth going for because it takes too long. But a good cutscene happens when Mother Brain steps forward and then fires ketchup as she's stepping backwards. It puts her in a different spot, so the cutscene is faster. So see how she stepped forward there? So if she were to fire ketchup as she's stepping backwards, that would give us a good cutscene. Like that. Okay, now see how her claw is not inside of the wall. So that's good cutscene. Again, it's not really something that you can manipulate. It's not something that you can manipulate in a way that will generally save you time, but it's a good thing to look out for so that you know if it happened or not. So that you can tell generally where your pace is at in relation to your typical escape. Didn't you say there's a way to stun her into not using ketchup? No, there's no way to deliberately stun Mother Brain into not using ketchup. She will almost always fire at least one ketchup. And that's probably the last thing that I should mention, is you want her to fire ketchup as close to your 16th beam as possible, because after she fires ketchup, she goes into a phase where she just sits and does nothing for 3 to 4 seconds. And so if she fires her first ketchup on like your 19th beam, then she won't move on to the next phase of the fight until a few seconds after she's already dead. Where if she does it on like your 16th beam, you can fire like your 20th beam to kill her, or to drain her energy to 0, and then have her immediately move on to the next phase of the fight. So hopefully that makes sense. With this rainbow beam, you want to be up against this wall, because the wall is actually what damages Samus. And so if you're like up next to Mother Brain, the rainbow beam has to push you all the way back to the wall before you start taking damage. Thanks, Red Shadow. Alright, since this is any %, there's no stand-up glitch, so we don't need to worry about that. We're basically just waiting for this cutscene to play out. In the background, there's a vertical bar in front of Samus. We want Samus to be on the right side of that vertical bar. So right about here. Okay? It's really bad positioning on Mother Brain's part. And then the way that this works is you can just hold fire. You want to do 1, 2, 3, 4 shots, and then basically release and repress it. You want to do an angle shot, 2 straight shots, another angle shot on your way down, rinse and repeat. So angle while up, 2 straight shots, angle on the way down, and again. And you want to do it this way as opposed to just standing in the corner. Standing in the corner causes a ton of lag. I'll show that. Also, sometimes it bonks her hand. Anyway, that was much slower, as you could probably tell. Alright. And that is Mother Brain 3. There's this black thing in the room. If you want to mess around with that, doesn't do anything. Alright, we want to time our jump just as the word escape finishes spelling out. You want to jump up to the ceiling and hold left and angle down. And then hold shoot as you're coming out of here. That will break these gates. If you don't hold shoot, you're gonna bonk. Okay, so you gotta hold shoot and angle down. And then I pump 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then I shoot again. Turn, morph, and unmorph through the door. You don't have to do the morph, unmorph if you don't want to. Just make sure that you don't run all the way to the left and then back to the right, or you're gonna screw up this door transition a lot. Okay? So just kind of turn and wait to fall through the door. Again, a morph, unmorph is best here because it lets you skip that first platform in the next room. Like this. I think we screwed that up. No, we didn't. That's okay. All right. Fire a down shot on the right side of the room to open this door and then run through the door. You can kill this pirate if you want to. It doesn't really make a difference. Arm pump. Do an angle up shine spark right there. That's all there is to that. Aim down, open the door, and then wall jump check through this door. And it's time for the hardest room in the escape. The room that lost me my best run. That's okay. Okay, there's 2 different ways that you can do this room. You can do this terrible strat, which I freaking hate. But I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to show why it sucks, that is exactly why. Oh no, we fell! Oh no, we fell! Oh, we made it. Anyway, you can do that if you want, or you can do a wall jump right here, ledge grab here, Do a speedy jump up here, wall jump, ledge grab here. One more wall jump up here. Arm pumps, jump around the corner, land, arm pumps, do a moonfall. Shoot the pirate on the way down with an angle shot. It won't always happen, but sometimes if you do a straight shot, there's a lag spike. See that? And that lag spike generally does not happen with an angle shot. So you want to shoot that pirate on the way down with an angle shot. And then wall jump up the left side. Try not to screw up your wall jumps on the left side like I did on my best run, totally lost it. Which strat is faster? Left side is like frames faster if you do both of them optimally. Okay, and then if you don't want to do wall jumps here, you can do ledge grabs instead. Behemoth opted to do ledge grabs instead, probably because he lost it around the way that I did. And he's smart, and when things go bad for him, he does more consistent strats instead of beating his head against a brick wall. Okay, once you get here, what I like to do is on this jump up here, I like to switch to a claw grip. So notice I'm not using a claw grip through most of this room. I switch to a claw grip right here, and the reason I do that is to make sure that I have dash anchored for this shot as we run through the door. Because if you don't have enough, if you haven't been holding dash the entire time, then you can bonk those pirates on the way out. I've lost a run to doing that before. So, if you have dash and shoot next to each other, then that's probably not an issue for you. But for me, that's how I do that way. Okay. You can technically open this door early. I forget exactly where you need to shoot, but you shoot around here somewhere. You can open the door early. There isn't really a reason to do that, but there's not a reason not to either. So, I think Ruya does it in his runs, if you want to see how that works. Talk about the shine sparks in the climb. Yeah, that's true. So the reason we can jump through this pirate is because we have iframes from taking a hit in the previous room. So just keep that in mind. If you take too long, you're not going to have iframes, and then you'll bonk that pirate. In which case, you could just jump across and land here, and then jump up and go. But that's a little slower. Alright, so the way... forgot to save state. The way that the shine spark in the climb works, you have a couple different options here. You can do the behemoth spark, which is an angle spark, up like this. Okay? This is not super specific. Basically, you can't be too far left, or you'll bonk there. And you can't be too far right, or you'll bonk there. Okay? Also, you want to be in a crouched position so that you get all the way up and land on this platform here. It's okay if you're standing, but you're gonna bonk below the platform, and then you need to hold left and kind of jump up like that. And you need to make sure that you don't shine spark on the exact first possible frame, or else you're gonna bonk. And all I'm there it was. All I'm doing here by trying to do it is showing you it's hard to do, but it will ruin your run if you do it. So don't shine spark on the first possible frame. It's okay to wait just a little bit to also make sure that you're in a good position in the room. Okay. Bonking, I didn't do that on purpose. Bonking this shine spark is referred to as a Zenny spark. If you're wondering why, it's because I am notorious for doing it on PB paces and in races. I made a rhyme, I didn't mean to. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. My first RBO world record I Zenny sparked. And then at GDQ, I whiffed like this. And I had to wall jump up. And I've done the bonk in races before. I did a bonk in one of my 100% PBs. If you do bonk, like let's say we bonk here, you can run back and do a short charge. Okay? Which is probably still better than wall jumping up. And if you don't want to do the angle spark, you can do a vertical spark here. Okay? On the right side. Vertical spark works just as well. It's just a little slower. But you can't do it from a crouch. You have to do it from a standing position. Okay? And you're gonna bonk below the platform right there. Alright. Hold, angle up, left, and shoot as you're coming off this platform, and then jump through the door. And try to hug the right side as you go through the door. If you do it correctly, you can wall jump off of the right side of this platform. You might bonk here. If you do, just jump up like this. Okay? We want to ledge grab onto this platform, and then we want to do a speedy jump and ledge grab onto this platform. Then we want to jump and either wall jump off of this and then this, or you can jump and just wall jump off the left side. It's just a little slower. So wall jump off the left again, ledge grab here. I tend to do a down grab on this one because it's kind of a weird platform. And then wall jump there, ledge grab here, jump up here. I'll talk about how and why I handle this specific jump in a minute. Watch out for steam, run forward. You can jump optimally kind of between these grass patches is where you want to jump. That will generally get you around the middle here, and then you'll usually take a steam hit. Run forward and run through the door. Pray for good steam here. And get on your ship. Okay. So, that's what this room looks like. Something like that, usually. I used to do a down grab on this platform. I have since dropped that. Because I was missing the down grab a lot and falling, which is really bad. Good steam back to the ship is only taking 1 or 0 hits. If you take two steam hits back to the ship, that's bad. Okay, so you probably saw I did kind of a big jump there. I actually do that on purpose to take a steam hit. Steam tends to come out around the same time when you get up here. It is RNG, but I think just the way that the RNG cycles, it's usually going to come out around the same time once you get up there. So I do a bigger jump usually to intentionally take a hit from the steam there. Okay, see how I didn't down grab and we fell because of it? That's why I do a down grab on that one. So yeah, that's roughly how and why I handle that way. So if you're watching me doing runs and you're like, why doesn't he do a clean ledge grab there? It's because if you do a clean ledge grab, usually you're going to take more steam hits on your way out. Okay. We want a steam right here. We want to bonk into a steam right here. We didn't get it on this one. But we either want a steam right there or we want no steams at all. This one is okay, but that one's pretty rare as well. And it makes it so that we have less run speed getting to the ship too. So ideally, it looks something like that. We bonk that steam. And then, so I'm going to talk about the setup for this echoes thing here. So you'll bonk this steam. You jump as you reach the grass right here. And you want Samus to hold jump until right around this darker line in the clouds here. At that point, I press angle down to break spin. And then it's a frame perfect down press on the ship. Of course, if you don't get it, just position so that you're on the ship. And then go to the ship. And that is it. Man, I'm getting these echoes a lot. That's it. That's the category. I don't think I have anything else to say, honestly, about it. I hope that this was useful for you guys. Do it, Mia. Do it. I fully endorse that. We get some music going on here. This is gonna screw up. Yeah, music's all screwed up now. Oh no! I can't do it. Can't do it. Alright. Sorry for the disjointed Turian. I'm too lazy to go back and edit stuff out, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Again, I hope this was helpful. And I don't know what I'm gonna do next as far as tutorials go. Probably do some mini tutorials. Covered all the major stuff at this point, except for low percent. And I don't know. I don't see myself covering low percent, so. All right, thanks.